Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a gentleman from the LaGrange Police Department that doesn't need any introduction, but I'll do it anyway. Senior Officer Wesley Engle. Wesley, welcome to the show.
All right, Alton, how you doing?
I am doing good. Wesley, you know, again, you, the men and women in blue, help to keep our city safe, to make sure our citizens know the law and hopefully obey the law as well. But as we're entering into the Christmas season time of the year, we just want to kind of, do a special, let's stay safe. Let's stay
definitely.
safe. Absolutely. First of all, I want to, before we start talking about holiday safety, I know the wrecks are one of the things that you get involved with each and every day. Talk a little bit about the wrecks that we continue to see in our community.
A lot of wrecks, we average about, last year we averaged almost 2,400 wrecks in the City of LaGrange, which is a lot to consider the population we have. A lot of your wrecks are contributed to folks failing to yield the right-of-way, speeding, disregarding traffic control devices, which is basically a red light, stop sign, yield sign, and following too closely. And that's usually mostly was is offenses that are occurring when people are having wrecks. You know, if somebody's following you too closely, they're normally probably running behind, they're trying to get around. Just slow down. That way, that encourages them to slow down.
That's right.
And we try to tell people if they're following too close, and you realize you are, especially when it's raining and stuff like that, and
foggy like it was
like
today.
this morning.
That's right.
Back off some. Give yourself some follow distance, because something could happen. That car could have an emergency or miss their turn and slam on brakes and then turn in, and that way you can try to prevent a collision. And what that's what we want to do is try to reduce the collisions in LaGrange. Everybody calls them an accident. They're not really an accident. Somebody has actually committed some type of traffic offense that has caused a crash. So that's really, it's not, you know, an accident would be if you ride in the road and a tree fell on it, you know. But that's what we're trying to do, is try to get people to be more aware of their surroundings. And, you know, the cell phones are a wonderful thing. And I mean, you know, sometimes you probably wish you could get away like you used to could, you know.
Right.
And I mean, when pagers was a big thing and you couldn't get away, and now people are just pretty much consumed with that phone. And it's not illegal at this point yet. You're 18 years old, you can talk on the phone. I'd recommend hands-free if people can, or headsets. You know, not a headset, but like an earpiece.
Okay.
And I'd just make your conversation brief. You know, if you have to take the call, which is legal, make it short and brief, because due to the fact if you're getting a long, drawn-out conversation, what usually happens is your tunnel vision goes in. You actually are focusing so much, consumed in that conversation, that you're actually blocking out some of the tough ways, your peripheral vision stuff that probably could prevent you from having a wreck.
That's right.
So a lot of people get consumed with that phone call. And you could also, some people, you know, that was bad enough when people put bad news on Facebook, but, you know, trying to give nobody some bad news if they're driving, because, you know, you don't know how they're going to react. You might want to have them pull over. Hey, pull over for a minute, let me tell you something. Right, okay. And that way they're not concentrating on what you're telling them and driving. So to try to, and we want to reduce the wrecks. I mean, and, you know, cell phones are great if you have, you know, if you break down or if you need to get over a family member. And, you know, and there's no texting when you're driving for anybody. If you got to make a text, pull over somewhere in a safe location, like, you know, a business or something. Go ahead and send your text out, and then go. But if you're waiting for a text to come back, just stay there for a few minutes and get it back, and you ain't got to worry about it, you know. And that's what we're trying to get people to realize, that, you know, operating a motor vehicle is pretty much like operating. You got to focus on what you're doing. You got to watch out for all the cars around you, so that, you know, they might not be paying attention, but that way you paying attention, you can prevent yourself from being involved in a collision, because a lot of things could go wrong. Your car, you know, there are several body shops, good body shops, and they stay busy, you know, because of the wrecks we have. Right, and it's not like, you know, you tell you get in an accident today, you can get your car fixed tomorrow. Usually they got to order the pieces, or they got to make an appointment, because they can only take so many cars, just like a doctor's office can only take so many patients. So then you're inconvenienced for not having a car, trying to get your rental car, then it just basically, and then it's uprooted you and causing you more chaos in your life. And if you're at fault, then your insurance has got to go up. You got to get a claim. So a lot of times you just sit back off somebody from, give them a little more give yourself more following distance, or wait for a minute to that stop sign or red light. If the red light, if it's turning from green to yellow, go ahead and slow down, because yellow means your green movement's been terminated. Prepare to stop.
That's right.
And they are mechanical. Lights are mechanical. There's usually 1 or 2 or 3 second delay in a lot of the traffic lights, but it's like anything mechanical, it can tear up. Then what happens if the other person is going to say they had a green light and you had a green light, And now, you know, which people do witness wrecks, but some people just don't stop.
Just common sense stuff.
Right.
It sounds like bottom line there. You know, and all of those things can carry right over into what I wanted to talk about too, is holiday safety. All those things, distractions, cell phones, not being aware of your surroundings, all of those things can transfer right over to what I want to talk now about holiday safety, because, you know, as we're into the Christmas time of the year, people are going out shopping, as you talked about, on the cell phone, as they're walking out of the department stores where they're shopping, maybe not necessarily being aware of the surroundings. Talk about some safety tips, just common sense things, again, that you've already alluded to, that our viewing audience can utilize in the Christmas shopping time.
Sure. Well, you know, when you're coming out of a business, I wouldn't be on my cell phone just in case something happens. You could witness a robbery or somebody getting run over or an accident, or you're not distracted on the phone conversation when you're walking across the parking lot so that nobody would hit you or something, because that person that's driving might not be paying attention either.
That's right.
And, you know, don't be texting and walking. A lot of college kids are texting in a crosswalk and them getting hit. So you put your cell phone down. You might need it, you know, because they got a light on it. Some places might not be well lit. You know, you might need your light. And always put your keys in your hand. Due to the fact that you could use your key fob if somebody was to try to grab your bag or try to rob you or push you down. You can hit the horn on your key fob, and that can create witnesses, and that's what you want people to see what's going on. It might prevent something from happening. And be aware of your surroundings, because people can hide around cars and stuff like that. You know, there are people in this time of year, when it comes Christmas time, people in bad situations make some bad choices and desperate due to the fact they're trying to, you know, figure out some kind of way to get their family Christmas, and they end up making some bad choices. And if you and these ladies, you know, if you got your purse, you know, that little strap that's in the buggy or shopping cart, whatever they want to call it, you can actually put that around your purse and stop somebody from running by and grabbing your purse, because it's actually restrained in there. Just don't go off and forget your purse in the buggy.
That's right.
And some people do that, and if you do find somebody's wallet or purse, do the right thing and go ahead and turn the purse in, because you know what, that might be the last bit of money, a little bit they got to buy their children or family Christmas. So if you see that, the best thing to do is take it to customer service or call 911 immediately and give it to the officer or give it to customer service. Due to the fact, or if you don't want to give it to customer service, call 911. We'll come pick up the purse or the wallet, because some people get in such a hurry. They got so much in the buggy. They got so much shopping. I got to go here. I want to go here. There are a lot of sales going on. You know, there's a lot of good sales, and people are trying to go from here there to save a few dollars. And the last thing that, you know, somebody takes their wallet and their Christmas money, that's not a, you know, just do the right thing. And that's and also. You could use your shopping cart for another thing. If somebody was attacked, you push the shopping cart into them.
So everything around you is a weapon, potentially.
Yes, you could use it, yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if you had to sling, you know, a woman had to sling a purse and hit somebody, or just try to defend herself, you know.
That's right.
And that's we want people to be safe and come in and shop and have a safe holiday, you know.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit, you know, we're talking about out in the public. Now, we also need to be thinking safety in the home and around the home. Talk about holiday safety around
I always
the
encourage
home.
people to get motion light sensors. That way, if somebody comes up on your house, it's going to light it up, and you can look out your door. Lock your doors, by all means, and especially your cars. You might not think nothing's valuable, but people can steal your car or actually ram and steal your car, and you might have forgot you forgot. And if you got like an iPad or your purse, don't leave it in the car like that. Take it out. Even if it's broken, the thief don't know it's broken. They see it and they bust your window out, and here's a broken iPad that you just been carting it around. You don't leave stuff out like that, and especially, you know, when Christmas time comes and like, especially when somebody moves too, if you're buying a new television, putting the box out on the curb, that tells the person that's not going to do the right thing that, hey, I got a brand new TV, and they want to come break in your house.
That's right.
And you want to be aware of your surroundings in the house. Make sure you keep your windows locked, your doors locked, and if your neighbor say, hey, you know, I'm be gone all day, can you keep it, you know, if you get along with your neighbor and you know your neighbor very well, hey, can you keep an eye on my house? You see something, call 911. I'm going to be shopping all day in another town or something, or I'm going to be out all day. And then
talking about that, I want you bring up another good point. You're talking about being away from home too, stopping the mail or having lights on a timer.
Exactly.
I mean, all of those are just important things and common sense things that hopefully, you know, our viewing audience is doing. And you talked about not putting boxes out there. One of the good things that they can do here is also call down to find out when the trash pickup will be, because Monday will be Christmas Day. Christmas falls on a Monday. So they need to find out what would be their routine or their normal pickup day.
Right, and put it out there right before then.
Right before, that's right.
And the cities, I know in the past, I don't know if they're planning this year, they usually put dumpsters throughout the city to actually throw them in there. So take that few minutes and take the box down there. And if you get any kind of electronics, by all means, write the model number, the serial number down, or take a picture with your cell phone. Okay. And that way you got it. And in case somebody does break in your house, you got the access, which would help us. If they try to pawn it or something, or it might take a little while. They might sell it to somebody, and something happens, we're in the house, next thing you know, we're running the serial number on the television, and there's your television, you know, or your radio or your iPad. But yeah, you know, cell phone is a wonderful thing. It's got cameras. Another thing, like I tell people, you know, when they're involved in a wreck, go ahead and take you a few pictures, especially if you move the car off the roadway, so the traffic. If you take some pictures, it gives officers some evidence, because once you move the car, it takes away a little evidence from the officers working the wreck. But if you're going to move it, go ahead, by all means, just take you some pictures and you can show it to the officer. But like that, I mean, if like your doors, fix your doors and stuff, make sure you got good locks. And your lights is on, and you got people watching, because there are people that are actually out there that actually break in people's houses during the Christmas time and steal their Christmas presents.
That's right. And we talk, you know, talking about Christmas time and the holiday season time, our kids are going to be out of school too. Yes. They're going to be playing before the Christmas day, and they're definitely going to be playing outside, hopefully after the Christmas time. Let's talk a little bit about child safety too when our kids are out of school.
Definitely. You know, a lot of kids get bicycles during school time. You know, buy them a helmet. That little helmet will help them if they fall and have a wreck. And don't leave the bikes outside, because somebody come along and steal them. And usually the kids are out like the last week of December and the first week of January. So be aware when you're driving around that, hey, okay, kids are out, you know. Kids are not aware of the dangers and stuff. All they worry about is playing and having a good time with their friends.
That's right.
And, you know, be aware, because some kids, you know, you might be traveling this way and you don't ever see kids on bikes. All of a sudden Christmas, they might have got some bikes or some little scooters or that effect. You want to be aware of that. And I tell people, don't put the new toys out there in the front yard. Somebody come along and they actually steal them, which is bad that people do that. But all they steal, they might just pick it up and just ride it somewhere and just drop it, and somebody else picks it up. And now the little child's bicycle gone because somebody took it. And if they're going to drive at night, make sure you got reflectives. Put them reflectives on them bikes. That way the headlights can see them. And if you think they're going to be out during dark, I mean, you could pick you up a little light to go on it, because you want that person to be visible. And you can even buy a little vest or little things that are light, like neon stuff, that would actually are stickers that you can put on the bike, or have a vest for the child to wear. Especially the helmet. We've had several cases where kids has had wrecks and stuff and hit their heads, you know, and you start hitting your head at that. I mean, even our officers, they have adults, they wear helmets. If you stop looking at any bike race you go to, what do all the bikers have? They have the helmets on, because they're going to speed and they're out there in the traffic with the cars. So, and I think, I mean, I imagine it gets hot when they're in them races too, but they want to protect the head. Safety first. That's right.
And you know what, Wesley, as I told you, we always have more topics to talk about than we have time. So it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. But again, we just want to make sure that our viewing audience remember the safety tips, just common sense things. You know, locking your doors, stuff out of plain sight, you know, helmets for the kids, just things of that nature. But we want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this information with us today too, if you don't mind.
All right, thank you. I'm glad to be here.